I'm going to be talking about what it's like to apply for a UK visa. So, as an international student, your visa is called a Tier 4 UK visa, which is the student visa. Once you accept a school's offer, they send you something called a CAS statement. That's CAS. So that's basically a document with all of the vital information about your program, about you, and it gives you a unique CAS number that you then need to apply for a UK student visa. I'm from Toronto, and I think that the process may vary slightly depending on where you're coming from, but this was my experience and these are the steps that I went through. You go on the UK government website and you have to make an appointment to come in because you do have to go in person. Now you have to do this way before your actual move date because this takes a few weeks and they take your passport, so you need to do this way ahead of time. They do have a priority service where you can get it fast-tracked, but that costs a lot more money. So unless you want to pay, I suggest you do it way ahead of time. Making an appointment costs money. They do have free time slots for regular business hours, but I'm coming from Toronto and all of the time slots in the foreseeable future that were free were completely taken. So my appointment was at 8 a.m. and it was $100 Canadian. I didn't know what to expect, but every click you make when you apply for a visa costs money. So the application itself cost me 470 Canadian dollars, and then there is an immigration health surcharge that basically varies depending on how long you're going to be staying in the country for, but mine was about $700 to $800. And I found the UK government website really hard to navigate, specifically for the appointments and the visa application that I needed, because there's a lot of FAQs, but I didn't exactly know which one applied to me, because a lot of the things kind of sound similar. So this is where the agency I worked with really came in handy, and they answered any questions I had, and if they didn't know, they would contact the representatives from the UK office, and I would get answers within a day or two. In the visa appointment, basically wait your turn. You can't take any electronics in, so have a place to store your phone or your laptop or whatever you're bringing with you. And when you go in, I can't remember whether they emailed me a list of paperwork that I had to bring in, but you do have to bring in a whole bunch of paperwork. But what I definitely remember bringing and needing is my transcript, my diploma, and my CAS statement. Now, at the end of my appointment, they did give me some paperwork with like some just information, and a really seemingly insignificant little piece of paper that seemed like a cutout out of, it was maybe this big, it wasn't a full-size piece of paper. I'm really glad I didn't misplace it because apparently it was very important. So I left my passport at the UK visa office, and then I got an email to come pick it up when it was ready, and it had a temporary visa inside of one of the pages, which would be valid for 30 days, I think, after landing in Scotland. When I flew to Glasgow, I got my temporary visa stamped, and that basically means that you've landed, and that's really crucial to get that stamped for the next steps of the student visa process. So before going, I vaguely remember choosing an address from which I could pick up my actual visa from, and I don't remember what the choices were. I picked something that was the closest to the place that I was staying. So when I landed, I had to go to this pickup location within 4 days to pick up my actual visa. And this is where that tiny, seemingly insignificant piece of paper came in very handy. So I went to this dingy little post office in the middle of the city and picked up my what's called a BRP card, which is the most important card that you have as an international student, which is basically your visa. And when I got to the post office, I needed to show my passport and that tiny piece of paper that I could have thrown out. Like, it's really funny that I didn't throw it out. And that's it. And then The card that you get, the BRP card, it's like a pinkish bluish color. The card you get is like this pinkish bluish card, and then this card is used to make your student card at your school, and then you're good to go. So that's the visa process, but I had a hard time navigating through the site and I had a lot of questions. My biggest piece of advice is to do it ahead of time because you can't enter the country without having your visa stamped. As an international student, you're gonna have a lot of issues. So yeah, make sure that you get your visa before your flight. That's it for this video. I hope that this was even the least bit helpful and I'll see you again soon.